Hello, and how are you? So, I was just thinking I want to do another video. I haven't done a video in a minute, and I was thinking about a topic, and just what came in my head was the question, are you ready to be committed? I.e., are you ready to get married? Marriage doesn't have to be, a commitment doesn't have to mean marriage, but oftentimes, of course, marriage is the ultimate goal. Not that for everybody, and there's no judgment if a commitment for you is just being together with no other partners. So, before I go any further in this video, because I'm going to answer that question from what my experience is, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you can get future videos. Okay, there are 5 things. This is just kind of like a free flow of consciousness of this video about are you ready to be committed? And I was just thinking in my head, there are 5 things that I would think are pivotal, primary, things that you want to look at if you are seriously thinking about getting in a committed relationship. Say you haven't had many, you haven't had one in a while, or you've been burned in the past and you're just not sure about the person or about if you want to be committed to just one person in that situation. So one thing you want to consider, probably one of the main things, is are you ready to sacrifice some of your needs for that other person? Are you ready to be less selfish, to be more selfless and consider their needs sometimes above your own? Now, everything is a balance. I've said this before. You certainly don't want to go into a relationship giving more than what you receive. It really should be a healthy balance of 50-50. You give and you receive. If you find that you're giving more of your energy, of your time, of money, anything, and you're not getting as much back, that is definitely a red flag. On the other hand, if you're getting too much, if the other person is a giver and you may be more of a receiver or taker and you're getting all that back but you don't feel like you're giving enough to them, that's also out of balance, and that's not the best compatibility between you two. It just may not be the best chemistry. So that's one thing. Are you willing to sacrifice your needs for them? Again, it's a balance. You don't want to give too much, but you want to be able to give. And if the answer is I'm not sure with anybody, I'm ready to go there and share my space and share my ideas and compromise on a regular basis, because that's what a relationship entails, then that definitely is something you should consider before you commit to something. Because once you make a commitment, your word is your bond, or it should be. If you're committed to somebody or something, you stay with it. That's what life is about. That's what's building confidence in you with yourself and other people, keeping your word. Okay, another thing that you want to look at is, are you compatible? I mean, really on a basic level, are your personalities meshing? What's interesting about this is I would say that my husband and I probably are not the most compatible couple. We are completely different personality types. I mean, if you look at astrology, which I do, we are the 180-degree difference, which means we couldn't be more opposite. So there's a lot of potential there, but there's also a lot of conflict, and I do want to do a video on what that means if you are completely opposite or if you're very similar. And so compatibility can look very differently. So my husband and I, again, are not really a natural fit for compatibility, which means we have to work harder. But if you aren't necessarily compatible with your personality, do you share goals? Do you share interest? That is, you need to have one or the other one, really. So that's basically number 3. Number 2 is, are you compatible? And or 3, do you have shared goals and interests? If it's both, if you are compatible personality-wise and you just fit together in how you communicate and how you live your life and the way you think and feel and talk, and also if you like the same things, say go to the bookstore, work out together, you like to cook together, you like to go on trips together, you have goals of how many kids you want, what kind of house you want to live, where you want to live. If all those things are aligned, you got a really good foundation. But you don't necessarily have to have both. So again, my husband and I had shared interests, we had shared goals in life, and this was 15 and a half years ago that we started this journey where we created this for us, and that was based on shared interests and goals. It was not based on personality compatibility. So those are things you want to look at. And again, you don't have to have both. I would say it's more important, of course, to have shared interests and shared goals, or you're going to run into a lot of arguments and differences and just crossroads of where you want to go. But don't necessarily have to be issues if you are already aligned in that situation. Another thing you want to look at, attraction. You know, ultimately, attraction is not, I don't think it's overrated. A lot of people say, and I know people that have married people for safety, whether it be financial safety, they're good friends with them, they feel really comfortable and safe with them. They never really had much of an attraction because that wasn't really a barometer of something that was important to them. So fast forward years later, they're just like roommates living together. They're friends who never really got that spark. I mean, you kind of have it, you try to have it, but my belief is if you don't really have that chemistry naturally, that natural attraction or draw towards each other in a physical, sexual way, it's going to be difficult to grow that. It's something that you really can't define that and determine who you have it with. I've had chemistry with people that I never would have thought I would, and others that I thought I would, I didn't. But I think that it really is a core foundation. If a lot of other stuff is going wrong, you have that attraction as something that you can really continue to draw and pull each other forward. So my husband and I have a strong attraction. That is definitely something that has gotten us through when our personality conflicts has gotten in the way of making things easy going. You want to feel drawn to each other just on an instinctual, primal level. Okay, so I said this was a free flow. I think that's 4 right there. Another thing that you want to look at is, do you trust the person? Which is different than personality compatibility. It's different than, are you ready to give of yourself and be more selfless? More selfless and less selfish. Trusting them with your heart, trusting them with your dreams and your desires and your fears, and with your mind and your spirit. And will they abuse that? If you tell them your wildest dreams, will they laugh in your face? If you tell them your deepest fears, will they minimize them? Or worse, not support you in that, not be an emotionally sound person for you. You want to trust them, not just with telling them things, but also with giving them your heart and feeling safe that they're not going to trample on it. Do we ever know for sure? Of course we don't. Anybody could betray you, could hurt you, and because we're humans and we're imperfect, we're going to hurt each other. My husband's hurt me countless times. I've hurt him countless times. But ultimately, I've given my heart to him, and I trust him with my heart. Another thing that you want to do, and I'd say this is the last thing that you really want to think of, is it is a conscious choice. Loving somebody, you can loving someone is a feeling, right? You can feel connected. You can feel that I would do anything for them. I would give my life for them. I feel happy and giddy and at peace when I'm with this person. But it is a conscious choice daily that you make to be in relationship with this person. That's what being in love is all about. It's not just a feeling, it is the committed action along with that feeling. It is determining that I have chosen to be with this person every day in a commitment, and because I have chosen them, I am willing and ready and able to live with everything that they bring to me. Now, we can work on improving things, on getting better, because we are always hopefully striving to be the best people we can be, and we can challenge each other and cheerlead each other and even push each other to be best versions of ourselves. At the same time, we also get to accept each other where we are. Okay, and I'm going to be honest, that's been a struggle for me, accepting my husband where he is, challenges and weaknesses and all. And of course, I have my own baggage that I come into this with, and that has been something that has taken some time to just really sit with and say, I accept you completely as you are. I am making a conscious choice daily to choose you. And that's powerful when you really think about it. You're choosing that person every day to give your heart to give your body to share your dreams and hopes in life with. And that is a precious gift, so don't abuse it. Don't minimize it, because you're building a legacy and creating a future with this person that is going to impact generations. If you choose to, keep that legacy going. A lot of people don't choose to have kids, and that's fine, but if you choose to build a legacy together, all these curses And blessings, familial curses and blessings, which I believe in, they can go down the generation line. So make sure you are bringing blessings into it and not curses. And a lot of that is by being intentional about who you choose and why you choose them. Okay, once again, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I would love comments. I would love questions. I, I really appreciate everything and everyone. Life is now. Take care.